What's up, nerds? So for today, we are back. I'm back with my twin brother Marlon. Marlon, say hi to everybody.
Hello, nerds.
We are going to do our review for Expanse season 5, episode 7. We have to do these on Saturday because Marlon and I work opposite shifts. So during the week after Wednesday, because this show drops on Wednesday, we aren't able to do it. So we're going to do it today. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is going to always like changing up their algorithm and everything. And small channels like myself get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you in advance. So, Marlon, what did you think about this episode overall?
I really liked it. I thought it was great.
So good.
Personally, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I loved it. The stuff with Naomi was so good. It was like ridiculous.
I think I liked it so much because Naomi is my favorite character, and so when and I'm really fascinated by Marco and Naros.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
we're gonna get into him.
Yeah,
when we
I really like the whole thing. So the episode was an 8 out of 10 for me. It probably could have been a 10 out of 10 if there was a little bit more action in space, but
that's my only negative about the show mostly is just like the action could be a little bit more. I just like they do give us some action. Like in this one, we did have a little bit, but it was like what, like maybe like a 2-minute scene, and I was all like, "Oh, that's it. I wanted more," and everything.
Yeah, it was only like 2 minutes.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into this episode. So it starts off with Naomi, woo, and she's having memories of her when Philip was a baby and she was with Marco and everything. And I really like seeing her hair down. I was like, oh, she looks so great and everything. I mean, I like her hair on the show, but I like it better when it's down and it's all like, you know. And then we flip over to Philip in his quarters, and he's looking at something, everything. And Marco comes in.
He's reading about his mom saving everybody inside the ring.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Because he mentions it later.
Yep.
So then Marco pops over, and then he's talking to him, and he's basically like, yo, are you getting soft and everything? And then he's like, no, I'm not getting soft. And he's like, can I have your ship that your mom gave you? And he's like, yeah, you can have it. And he's like, I was afraid you wouldn't give it to me. And he was all like, why wouldn't I give it to you? It means nothing to me.
Yeah. And real quick, there's one line I wrote this down that he says that really we'll talk about later when it comes to Marco. Philip says, I just want you to be proud of me. And he says, I know, not I am. So I thought that was really interesting that he didn't say, I am proud of you. He said, when he said, I just want you to be proud of me, he said, I know. So I was like, wow, he didn't even tell his son he was proud of him. He just said, I know you want me to be proud of you, which just kind of goes, and we'll go into it later, just kind of shows like the kind of manipulative power that he has over people.
Yeah, his manipulation ability is like off the charts. It's like, I mean, like he is so like we'll get into it later on in the episode, but when he has the next conversation with Philip, I was like blown away at his evilness. Like I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. So then they bring the ship next to theirs, and he goes and talks to Naomi, and he's all like, you left your son and everything, and then after that he was all like, you can walk about the ship and everything, but if you do anything else, you get floated. What'd you think about this scene?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I think that what you have between the two characters is they're both trying to achieve the same goal, but they know each other's tricks. So the whole time they're trying to dig at each other, but they know how each other think and how they behave. But their ultimate goal is, they both say it in the conversation. Like she says, I'm going to show, if you do this, it'll show Philip who if you space me, it's going to show Philip really who you are. And he says, I'm going to let you go. And if you do anything on the ship to anyone or try to escape, it's going to show him who you are. And so, they're both, she's not manipulated by him, and he knows the kind of person she is and what she'll try to do. So they're both playing off for the same goal, which is to win over Philip.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. So then we go on to the Rocinante, which in my opinion, we haven't seen enough of this season.
No, we
And
haven't.
it's nice to see it and everything. And they're hunting down the ship that took the gosh, the proto molecule.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the ship either.
It's okay. I mean, somebody will give us shit for it, but I can't remember the name, and I didn't write it down either. I just wrote down the ship. So then they're having conversations with Monica and everything, and he's, she's, yeah, in this conversation she talks about we need to stop the proto molecule from getting into the hands of the bad guys, and we need to not go after Naomi. And then Holden's all like, yeah, I know the proto molecule is the most important thing. I have a feeling he's going to change his mind, because I think he's going to be all like, I need to get Naomi, the woman I love, and everything. And proto molecule be damned. Um, yeah, yeah. What did you think?
I was gonna say that. So, um, yeah, I think ultimately, because he's this white knight, he's gonna try to do both. He's gonna try to get the proto molecule, and we find out later like some different stuff. But I think he wants to get the proto molecule and save Naomi, um, because that's just the kind of character that we get from him. But I thought it was a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure when because I know there's other scenes, so I might be jumping ahead, but I'm not so sure that Monica and Bull want to destroy the proto molecule. Because
Oh,
right
I
at the
don't think they
moment,
either. I don't think they do either.
yeah, at the moment he mentions destroying it, they kind of look at each other at the same time. So I wonder if they are going to stop them from destroying it. But anyway, I might be jumping
Right
ahead.
on. Then moving on to the next scene, Naomi, she's walking around the ship and she goes to Philip's quarters,
Mm-hmm.
and she's, Chucky's rebuilding something, and then she grabs his razor and everything. He's like, oh, you're gonna try to kill Marco with my razor now? And she's like, no. And then she's like, you're so much like me. I rebuilt one of these when I was younger. And then he's all like, what are you doing and everything? And then he's like, why did you leave me? And then it's so emotional, this scene, and I connected as a parent. But he was all like, I'm my own man. And she's like, I know you are. And he's like, I don't care if you believe me. And she's like, I believe you. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is the thing about Philip is this is a man who just wants the approval of both his parents, but he's struggling between both his parents. And I was just like, oh, Philip, I'm like, you can love them both and still disagree with your dad because he's in the wrong, because he's the bad guy. But and I felt for Naomi, because I like, it's so sad that she's trying to connect with her son, and she has to like practically manipulate him to but I mean, she's doing it with the truth.
I think Marco loves him to the extent that he was, because once again, later on in the episode, it comes up that Sin kind of raised him to be this hard ass as a belter. And I think he's trying to project that onto his son, where Naomi, who doesn't know him, and she realizes the kind of work you can get done without throwing asteroids at a planet and killing millions.
Right on.
Uh, she wants better for him with the same outcome.
Right on. So then we hop over to Alex and drummer Bobby. Thank you. Drummer's not in this episode.
She's not in this episode.
Oh, I'm gonna edit that out. People are gonna
But
be
it's Draper.
Draper. Oh, maybe that's why I got
Draper.
it. So they're on, the Razor Hawk, and they
Screaming Firehawk.
Yes. Ever since somebody mentioned that in the comments, I'm just like, oh, I cannot call it. What did I call it the first time? Like the Razor Burn or something like that.
No, you called it the
Razor Crest. I called it the Razor Crest. Yeah.
But we had been taught, it's kind of easy to get it messed up because like the previous Expanse, I think Expanse and Mandalorian had overlapped a week or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's easy to interchange the two with
right on
accident. But anyway, so the Screaming Firehawk, yep.
So they're talking to
Avasarala.
Avasarala. Thank you. I
Yeah.
always I need to. So they send her all the info that they got, and then they send it to Holden. So Holden gets that info, and then he pulls up like the pictures of all the different ships and everything.
Hmm.
And then, they're like, "Hey, go back to Tycho Station," and then they continue their quest towards stopping that one ship. Um, for me, this really wasn't like, this was just furthering along the story, but it really didn't hold any like emotional attachment or anything.
Hmm.
It'd be nice to see the crew back together though, ASAP, ASAP.
Yeah. I
So
think
then
that's
we,
one reason that this season's not it's not really striking me the same way. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong,
mm,
but I think there is something to this show that I love so much is the crew together. It reminds you a lot of times of people in your family, at least on an emotional level. Like you might have, a hot-headed brother that just wants to punch something, or you might have, uh, a relative that's a white knight type
mhm.
character. So I think that's what makes it so great. In this one, you get so little of each one of those in every episode. Like we didn't see Amos this episode, so you don't get that personality. So it
Mhm.
makes this season a little bit different. I do love it though. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. Anyway.
Right on. So then we hop over to Marco's ship and everything, and Sin comes back over because he was over on I don't remember Naomi's old ship that she gave to Philip,
Yeah, it's got a
and
weird name.
they're they meet up in the mess hall and everything, and they have a heart to heart. And oh, one thing I didn't mention about the scene before with Naomi and Philip was that she told him how she was going to kill herself.
Yeah.
And so in this scene, Sin, he says, "I saw
And
you."
she also mentions that Marco was hiding Philip from her for
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
months
Yep,
while
yep.
she was looking.
It wasn't it wasn't just, she left. It was like he took you from me. I should have mentioned
Mhm.
that earlier. But anyways, so then Sin and her sitting down talking, and I thought this was great because he was all like, "I saw you. You were gonna kill yourself and everything." Um, and then he was all like, I helped Marco, kind of thing. And she's like, "How could you help him?" and everything, and all that stuff. I thought this was very good. This was very an emotional episode, especially
Yeah,
for
there
Naomi.
yeah, there was even more to the emotional part because he said, I helped him, but if I had because I thought that if it would keep us together because this was our family and
Mm,
you wanted to take Philip and break up our family kind of thing. But he says if I'd have known that that's what would have happened if that me doing that helping him was driving you to that point, I never would have done it. So
right
that
on.
it made it you see this guy who's kind of like the father type figure to them back when they were working on Palace, and he's just somebody that wants to keep his family together, this family they built, and then all of a sudden it was breaking up, so he probably manipulated by Marco to hide Philip to keep her here, and then she just is at her wits end because she can't find her son. So, but yeah, it was super emotional. You do feel for both characters. I mean,
Right
at least
on.
I did in this sense.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, for sure. And so then we move over to Monica and Holton. They have their little conversation and whatnot. And then they find the ship. They were like on its tail. So then they get everybody in their seats. They pump the juice and they hit the burn and everything. So and they, plot their course. And then flip over to Marco real quick, and he's all like, "This is your fault. We wouldn't have to deal with them if you, had taken care of this." And Sin is all like, and then Marco's all like, "I used to look up to you, and now you're just a sad old man or something." I didn't write down the line or whatnot, but he basically just tells him you're nothing but just old bones kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we get to the exciting part, the action part, where they're going after this ship, and it releases all these like missiles, and it does it in like a little loop or whatever.
Hmm.
And then the Rocinante, it pops out its guns, and he's like, "I'm gonna roll," and then they roll, and they fire at all these missiles, and I just thought that part was great. It was super great.
Yeah, two things that I wanted. I don't know if you saw this, and this was not my I didn't catch this at all either. Another YouTuber that I watch pointed this out. If you go back and you freeze frame, because when I'm watching that, I'm like, oh, did they just destroy the proto molecule? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, because it was on that ship and the ship blows up and you don't see another ship leaving. But
Mm.
if you go back and watch the episode, when it's firing all the missiles out and they're all like circled around in that weird fun like twisting shape, the very last missile, they're all yellow in color, but the last one's blue, and it looks like it fires the other way in the
Mm.
scene.
I'm gonna have to
And
go
you,
back and watch it now.
yeah, go back and watch it. And so this YouTuber was saying that it could be, you know, that pod that they used with the Epstein drive that they fired off to meet Marco somewhere,
Mm.
and that's what, you know, that's how you can go, oh, maybe they didn't destroy the uh
Proto
the proto
molecule.
molecule in the ship because they fired
Mm.
it off, and they were just a big distraction while they were firing the missiles. So, but I did love this action scene. I loved any time, you know, the Rocinante is just another crew member in my opinion.
Mm. Right on.
I love these shows where they put so much into the ships that they fly that it becomes its own character.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it was a great scene.
Right on. Yeah, for sure. I agree. So then we move over to the bridge of Marco's ship, and Marco is looking out. Now, that little thing, that was the ring, right? He was looking at the ring and like the schematics of ships by the ring or whatnot. I don't know. I couldn't tell what it was because there were some planets in there. Like I saw Mars in there and the belt, but I couldn't see anything else.
Yeah, I don't know if they're if I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Right on. And then this is the scene that I was like, man, Marco is good. He's talking to Philip, and Philip's all like, I want to go so I can, rally the troops. And he's like, was it you that attacked Earth? And was it you that freed our people? I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember his exact words. And he's like, and then he puts up that video and he's like, no, they're screaming my name. And he's like, and then this is where he got him. He's like, but one day they'll scream your name. And then
Mhm.
all the people start cheering Philip. And I was like, man, Marco is good. He is playing the game. And right now he is winning. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I love this character.
I will say this though. At the beginning of the scene, Philip, all he wants to do is impress his parents,
Mm-hmm.
and at this point, he wants to impress his dad by taking command of one of the ships. And his dad uses that to kind of throw it back in his face, like, you know, it could have been our victory together. We could be sharing this if you hadn't been weak and let your mom, uh, you know, save the Rocinante and Tycho. And that kind of with that and them cheering Philip, I think that's what breaks him down for the next scene with Naomi.
Mm.
Because he realizes like he has to be harder and stronger if he's going to get the acclaim and make his dad proud.
Mm. So then they bring Naomi to the bridge, and uh he basically tells her he's going to, well, he doesn't basically, he does tell her he's going to use the ship she gave to Philip to send it to the Rocinante to blow. Sorry. They're gonna take that and send it to the Rocinante to blow it up or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all like, Philip, and she tries to talk to Philip, and he's all like, you can never turn my kid away or turn my kid against me. Take her to her cabin or whatnot. This scene was like so heart-wrenching for me. I was like, Naomi is such a good character and I love her, and she's just getting shit on left and right. So, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, it's easy to watch, obviously, but it's not easy because you know ultimately Marco is not doing he's not doing it the right way. Like for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I don't know why he thinks his plan will work this way,
Mm-hmm.
other than um the fact that he has the proto molecule.
Right.
Um and I'll get into that at the end of the video of why I think this is a bad idea. his plan is a bad idea ultimately. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch because Naomi, she's just trying to convince Philip, like, hey, you don't have to. Like I said before, Fred Johnson and Anderson Doss were trying to use the OPA and the belt to peacefully transition into an independent um, nation, if you will, by not starting this conflict um, with Earth and Mars.
Right on. So then they're preparing the ship, and Sin goes and he sees Naomi standing at an airlock. And he's like, and in his mind, he's all like, oh crap, she's going to kill herself. So he goes over there and she opens up, he gets in the airlock right before the doors close, and he's all like, I've seen that face before. And I can't let you do this kind of thing. And she turns around and she's like, I wish you hadn't followed me. She's got that little thing. She opens up the doors and she blasts off into space. Like she rockets herself towards her old ship that she gave to Philip. I can't remember the name of it. And he's all like, no, don't go, kind of thing. But then he dies, or at least I think he dies. He might be alive, but all messed up. But I think he's dead.
I think so too, because he sticks his arm out and the door stops.
Oh, right on. Yeah, good point.
Closing.
Good point. And then she's like, doing her Superman flight towards the ship, and you see the glazed over look, like she's just staring into the deadlights and everything. And
Yeah.
she hits the door, she grabs a hold of
She injects herself with the
yeah,
drugs.
yes, that's why. Yeah, she injects herself while she's mid-flight and everything. And then she gets into her ship, and that's where they end the episode. And I was like, no, you didn't, you dicks. I was like,
Yeah.
I need you to show me what happens to her.
Yeah, it was definitely a good cliffhanger for sure.
For sure. I did like it a lot. And I was all like, man, I'm gonna have to next week. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it hardcore and be like, and it's gonna be great. So again, you like this episode. I liked this episode too. It was so emotional, and I love that about it. And it had Naomi, our favorite character, and I just really, I felt her pain while watching this episode. Like I was like, Naomi, I love you, and you don't deserve this. You really don't.
No.
So
One thing, real quick, one thing we did gloss over real quick during the
yeah.
Monica Holden conversation is she does mention that Marco has Mars gunships, and she mentions that Martian weapons or even the stealth tech on the black market kind of makes sense, but having a whole gunship or a few gunships or even Martian warships to begin with, those going on the black market, there would have to be a pretty high level Martian somebody helping them and receiving something in payment, and they allude to the proto molecule being payment for those. That's why I said earlier, I think that Marco and Aris's plan doesn't really work if he gives away the proto molecule, because now he's just going to have a bunch of pissed off Earth ships coming after him, and no proto molecule to back up his threat.
Right on. Yeah. So I can't wait for the next episode. It's gonna be so good. I've started like I said, kind of trying to read the books. I'll get to it before the next season comes out, the last season, and I don't know what's happening after that. Is there anything else you want to add to this, Marlon?
No, I love this. I can't wait for the next episode. This episode was great. Like I said, I give it an 8 out of 10. If it had a little more action, it probably would have got a 9, 9.5. A little more space battle stuff. I love space battle stuff
for sure.
Especially in the Expanse. And I really hope they give us like a little teaser, like they did this week for this week's episode. They gave a little teaser, at least on Facebook. They did. So I hope they give a little teaser, because I like those, and like pique my interest a little bit. But other than that, I don't have anything else to say.
Right on. All right, guys. Well, tell us, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Do you wish there was a little more action like we do? How do you feel about Naomi and how emotional this episode was for her? You guys can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. Marlon, you won't mind?
I won't mind.
No, you won't. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys, and Marlon will see you guys on our next Expanse review. You guys have a good week. Bye.